Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I just want to say Eid Mubarak to all the Muslims out there. The reason I haven't been uploading is because I was fasting, and when you're fasting, trust me, the energy to record, the energy to react to video, it ain't that strong. And today's the last day of Ramadan, baby. And so with that being said, welcome back. I got a lot to say, but I'm gonna save it for other videos. With that being said, recently, Pearly Thing, if you don't know who she is pretty much a woman that kind of, I guess you can say, it's like somebody who likes to talk about the female flaw and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that she says that I agree with. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things that she says about women that I disagree with. But today she decided to open her mouth. Well, it wasn't today. It was more like 3 days ago. She decided to open her mouth about who, you may be wondering? Candace Owen. Now, you know what? Like I said, I got a lot to say. Let's just watch the video. It ain't gonna be long. It's probably like 2-3 minutes in before I stop it and then I give my commentary. So let's watch it together and then I'll tell you guys what's up.
On X, the news came out that Jeremy Boring, the co-CEO of the Daily Wire, was abruptly stepping down. This news came as a shock, as Jeremy is one of the original founders of the Daily Wire. Him and Ben Shapiro founded the company together in 2015, and his hard work was one of the main factors in its growth to its now over $1 billion company evaluation. Jeremy has been on multiple outlets speaking about his creative plans for the company. Reportedly, the Daily Wire and all of his ventures brought in over $200 million in 2024. Boring is stepping down as CEO, but says that he will remain with the company in a creative director role.
Like Cat Williams said, and if you see my previous video, I guarantee you will be like, you know, you've said this before. Cat Williams said in 2024, everything will be revealed. And I said this. I said Cat Williams is not only talking about the celebrities. And was I right? I was. What do I mean by that? Now we see what's going on. The Americans have woken up. America has not come to a realization that they have not had power since JFK assassinations. Americans have not come to a conclusion that their tax money is being sent across sea to go and unalive a bunch of brown Palestinian people. And Americans, especially the ones who watch Daily Wire, have not realized that the Daily Wire is not pro-America. Rather, it was a fast-speaking dude who has full support of, you know, the Middle East. We all know what state I'm talking about. Okay? And so it's pretty obvious now. So all truth shall be revealed. And we are in the golden age of truth. Everything is coming to light. The JFK assassination, the Epstein. Next, I think everybody should start digging into 9/11. I'm just saying, but let's go.
This comes on the backs of other staff departures in recent history. This includes the like of Brett Cooper and Candace Owens. It's no surprise that they are women, but not all women do that. Jeremy's exit has also been sudden and silent. He hasn't made any out-of-pocket statements. He hasn't said any disparaging remarks about the Daily Wire, and he's generally kept to himself despite his outspoken demeanor. This is a stark contrast to Candace Owens and Brett Cooper leaving the Daily Wire. Last year, we all saw Candace Owens crash out on social media and her YouTube channel when she got fired. Brett was not as contentious as direct as Candace, left enough innuendos and passive-aggressive posts on social media to insinuate something bad happened during her tenure there. Candace Owens and Brett Cooper, like the girls on those basketball teams, are being ungrateful, mouthy women that did not appreciate the effort that Jeremy and the other men have put into them to make them who they are today.
First of all, I just want to go ahead and say, because if she wrote this or if she's reading an article or whatever, I'm not sure, but whoever wrote that, one thing that I want to say is, first of all, these two women were under NDA. Candace is under an NDA. Brett Cooper is under an NDA. So we genuinely don't know the full story. We don't. They can't speak out about it. And so sitting here and calling them ungrateful and stuff like that, it's like, How can you call somebody ungrateful when you don't know the full story? I guarantee you, if Candace Owen was given a good choice of being there at the Daily Wire, I'm sure she would have stayed. Same thing with Brett Cooper. And recently, Brett Cooper had a podcast talk. She opened up a little bit about the situation that was going down in on the Daily Wire. And from the way it sounds to me, it sounds like she got betrayed by her best friend, the other one, Connor or something. I don't know. She now takes over the comment section, and Brett Cooper literally said like, yeah, if I can still be friend with her, I will still be friend with her, which goes to show you that we don't know the full story for one. Two, it's not as black and white as we think it is.
So here is Candace Owens talking about the Jeremy Boring situation. Okay.
Diversity. All right, you guys, happy Tuesday. What can I say other than it is a woman's intuition, which is funny because we ended yesterday's episode where I was saying, women, we don't know, but we know. And many ladies got that. We just know stuff. We get vibes. And last week, I was looking at the CEO of the Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring's tweets, and something just felt off. So we did an entire episode, well, actually just the beginning of an episode, but we quite literally entitled it, Just Asking Questions About the Daily Wire. And today, just 4 days later, news breaks that Jeremy Boring is stepping down. So our answer has arrived. Let's jump right into that. Let's get started, and welcome back to Candace. You guys, I am having deja vu. I am having deja vu. It's like I've already been here before. You're not going to believe this. Today is my fire diversary. You're wondering what a fire diversary is. It's the anniversary of the day you got fired. So shout out to anyone who's been fired before. But last year on March 18th, I received news that I was no longer employed at the Daily Wire, which did.
Okay, after you ran a social media campaign against the company. Bitch, like, why do they leave out like the most important detail? after you worked for a Jewish network and then started talking about pro-Palestine stuff. I mean, guys, that would be like, okay, imagine if I hired somebody and they started spewing out anti-white stuff. Now, look, I'm not saying that it's right that she isn't allowed to talk about it or whatever, but how much am I going to fund someone that's saying racist stuff on my platform? Now, I'm not even saying what she said was anti-Semitic, but that's how they view it, right? And so, you know, when I hear women complain that they can't say anything while working for someone else who helped make them more famous, I mean, because you have to think, like, the other week I had a guy on here that'd been a janitor for 25 years. Or there's men on crab fishing boats in Alaska that, you know, die to get us crab. And you're complaining because you can't talk about one topic. One.
Arrived as somewhat of a shock to me. And we're fast forwarding now exactly 1 year later, because ironically, right after my exit was announced a few days later, then the entire Christ is King debacle took place online, courtesy of Andrew Klavan, who did this whole video about my exit and accused me of all sorts of things that we don't need to relitigate because I have moved.
Because, do you know what? She did this thing that conservative women do. The I'll pray for you. Well, they use God as a way to guilt and shame you. So she had this whole thing saying Christ is king. The Jewish people just won't let me. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say that, but it's okay. They just won't let me say Christ is king. And it was so obvious what she was doing. And then when the men pointed out, they're like, hey, that's what you're doing. I'm not pro-Israel or anti-Israel. I'm not pro or anti. I'm a woman. I don't have any opinion on war. Do you think me, of all people, all of the women pretending they have any idea what the best thing to do in the Middle East, are full of shit? We do not know. We do not understand war or violence like men do, okay?
Don, and I am.
So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys. And one thing that I want to say is I'm not a woman. If I go to the hospital and I see a woman screaming while she's giving a baby a birth, should I now say, well, I'm not a woman, I don't know if she's in pain or not? No, because from the outside, I have two eyes. I can see clearly that she's in pain while she's giving birth to this child. Simultaneously, I don't need to be a man or woman in order to know when somebody is in pain, in order to know when there's a group of people being oppressed. I don't have to be a certain type of race to see clear evidence of corruption right in front of me. Pretty Thing is somebody who clearly doesn't have a spine of her own. She over here talking about, oh, I'm a woman, I have no opinion about war. That's not the point. The point is, if you see injustice happening, you don't have to be a man or woman to speak out about it. If you see that a certain group of people is being mistreated and you have a voice and you have a platform, you don't have to be one gender or the opposite gender in order to speak out about it. As a human being, it is our duty to look after each other. There are corrupt people out there. There are female who are corrupted. There are women who are corrupted. There are Muslims who are corrupted. There are Jews who are corrupted. There are Christians who are corrupted. There are people who have agenda that goes against the idea of being a human being, which is why the ICJ has literally sent the arrest warrant for Netanyahu for war against humanity. But no. You're a woman. You don't know what's going on. You have no opinion. Oh, that's not what it is. You do have an opinion. You know what's going on. You're not you're not blind and deaf. You can clearly see it. You don't see children being unalive, and the first thing you think about is, oh, I don't know what's going on. What did the kid do? The kid doesn't have a weapon. And so this is one thing that I really hate about, it's like people who have the mentality of just making nothing but money, is that everything around them will be crumbling. And all they will say is, oh, well, it's not my business. Anyway, guys, leave a like and subscribe, and make sure you join my podcast or whatever, and make sure you send a little bit of money here. It's like, dude, momentarily, it's not at your front door. Yes, but it's only a matter of time before it comes at your front door. And if you just sit there quietly and say absolutely nothing, guess what? You're going to get dragged in it eventually. It's like somebody who is literally just drinking their sorrows away and their depression away. Because guess what? You're going to sober back down and your problem are going to be right there. And it's probably going to be even worse because you let it linger on for so long. And so I just wanted to talk about this. But again, man, it's genuinely like, what is wrong with people not speaking out about injustice because they are afraid to, make a certain group of people angry? Money is not, I don't even know, like, there's a reason why I don't create a lot of content for Palestine anymore, because it's so obvious. It's so obvious. You don't need me to tell you what's right and wrong when you look at what's going on in the Middle East. You don't need me to tell you that. You don't even need Candace Owen to tell you that. All you have to do is just read for yourself, open the news, look at it, see what's going on. The Palestinians themselves are posting videos. Look at how many journalists have been unalived. Look at how many children have been unalived. You don't see these numbers and then come to a conclusion and say, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to keep my mouth hush about it. No, you're trying to protect that money of yours. That's all you're trying to do. That's all you're trying to do. Anyways, man, I just wanted to go ahead and react to that part. I went on a little bit of a monologue because things like this really boils my brain, because you got spineless people who are walking around who think just like her. She's not the only one. She's really not the only one. Now, you may say, Buzz, you have a small channel. That's why you were able to talk about these things, because it's not going to affect your pocket. And you're right. It's not going to affect my pocket. But guess what? I still had a choice to not speak about it and just make a bunch of videos and clowning on people who do dumb stuff on the internet. I could easily do that. But I chose to talk about this because I was given a voice and I was given a platform. I chose to stand up for those who do not have a voice. Anyways, I'll catch you guys up later.